Ain't no party like a demon head party, 'cause a demon head party don't stop till one of the two demon heads dead. That's right. We have Barbara, the demon's head, and a whole episode to go over.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
To Our Death and Beyond, episode 19 of Gotham. This has been a pretty crazy season. There are people that are already saying that it was too campy and that there was too much going on, but I disagree. I think this was the perfect mix of craziness and darkness with some weird, campy effects. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's still a story about Batman, Gordon, Gotham City, and of course, as of last week, the Joker. Now, last week's episode left us on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I thought we would pick up with it, but I guessed wrong. Before we go into that, though, what I do here is I review stories. Sometimes I do news stories like this, sometimes I do throwbacks for Throwback Thursday, I do theory videos on how and why we tell stories on Sundays. If all of that sounds interesting and you want to hear me ramble on about stories, click that subscribe button, because right now the shadow of Ra's al Ghul is no longer falling across Gotham. Instead, the shadow of Ra's al Ghul is in Gotham, because Gotham Season 4 has kicked it up a notch, and we're in full-bore magic mode. That's right, let's get this started.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
So the Arkhamites are still out there in the world, and we don't know what really happened to them. But we start with pretty much the Batmobile. I love that quiet mode, but part of me says that that was also pretty much a paid advertisement for a new Mustang from Ford. I don't know much about cars, but Proto Batman has it. And he's not the only one. I loved him and Catwoman together. I loved the way she tried to defend him when Tabitha pulled the double cross. I loved the fact that he was kind of flirting with her when he was all like, let me put this in quiet mode just to show off a little bit. 'Cause come on, who wouldn't? But okay, so main story. The Demon's Head. And I was partially wrong. I really thought this was all Raish's big master plan to come back. But maybe he actually thought Barbara was a valid successor, or maybe it's still a long-term plan. I don't really get it. Either way, he's back as like zombie Ra's al Ghul until he retrieves the demon's head, which either Barbara can hand to him or he can kill her. And of course, we know which one he wants. And of course, we know that Bruce doesn't want either. First thing they need is the knife that can kill him, and Bruce believes only he can do it, and Barbara thinks that she can, and it ends up with what could have been an episode in and of itself. A quick Ocean's 11 gambit trying to steal a knife. Meanwhile, our subplot has to do with the fact that Penguin and Grundy are trying to get in with Riddler and Lee. And I have to say, I really hate how much I totally feel for Ed here. I mean, he's being strung along, and, she totally is using him. Penguin's right. In a city full of so much distrust, I cannot believe she is being such a jerk and such a manipulative person. But it's kind of funny, the juxtaposition between Riddler and Lee, Riddler and Penguin, and Tabitha and Barbara. The entire idea. And it even goes to Selina and Bruce. I guess it kind of goes to Alfred and Bruce, too. Who do you trust? And who comes through for you when the chips are down? And how much of a connection is enough of a connection to make you do something stupid? Riddler actually has this great riddle that I wish I had thought to write down when he was saying it, but the answer was betrayal. And betrayal is a very important theme in this entire season, but of course this episode specifically, as each set of characters takes their turn doing so. Even Jim kind of betraying his own morals when he goes after the bank as if the bank were criminals. Or everything, just everything in this episode was about betrayal. But it was also about building. It was about building the mythos, building the concept of what sort of villains need to be fought, what sort of changes need to be made. And of course, it's all part of the birth of the Bat. Because let's be honest, Bruce put on that proto costume the first time because of Ra's, and now Ra's is back. And like you said, today is not the day he dies. However, I am going to just make one slight complaint about the episode. The fight sequence. Barbara figures out how the demon's head works. She can flash. I'm not sure if the flash was her traveling back in time or if it was her foreseeing the future and then reacting. Either way, it's the same problem. Knowing you're about to get hit, knowing you're about to get stabbed, is helpful, but only so helpful. If I had that ability, looking into the future and seeing myself get punched by Batman, or by Joker, or by any of these super combatants, I still couldn't block it. All I know is, oh shit, this is gonna hurt like hell. Now, Barbara's obviously a better fighter than I am, and she's got that crazy lunatic power strength thing going, but I just don't see her being able to stand Ra's long, even with that ability. But okay, that aside, the end of the episode was the reveal of the Dark Knight. The fact that Ra's is going to use some sort of huge cataclysmic event, a no man's land, if you will, to forge Bruce into a Dark Knight. And of course, as the episodes keep going, there's only a handful left. Less than a handful, I guess. And the Joker is going to play a big part. But I'll see you in 2 weeks. In the meantime, I'm curious. What do you think about what's been happening and what will happen? And if you leave a comment in the comment section below, maybe I'll mention you next time when I review the next episode of Gotham. For now, I hope you like and share this video. And of course, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, because I am kicking it into high gear with Batman. Because, I mean, seriously, it is the best Thursday night show out there until the Orville comes back. Gotham is crazy, but maybe it works best that way. I'd love to hear what you think. For now, I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.